Triple G. Brace yourself for the things you'll see. From comic books to toys and more. And all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff. We love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Geordie Geek. Welcome back to the channel for a bit of a revival of a show we used to do a little while ago called This Is My. And tonight I am very pleased to share the screen with one of the nicest people on you of the tube, Terry, DEADMAN Comic Covers. How are you, Terry? Are you well?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good stuff, mate. Good. So I've known you for a little while now, Terry, since you were in my chat for a while, and then you jumped on and started your own little channel up, which is doing really, really well. So it's lovely to have you here to chat with and to find out a little bit more about you. Before we get into the questions, though, I just want to prompt people. Terry's going to be doing a giveaway tonight. So Terry has superbly hit... Well, it's over 250 now, Terry, isn't it? How many subs now?
292 at the moment.
Excellent.
I don't like saying the number because when you say 292, it means 291 now.
Yeah. Terry's got a milestone. Let's just leave it at that. So he's hit his 250 milestone, which is amazing. But on his channel, Terry's DEADMAN Comic Covers, there's a video on there where all you've got to do is put hashtag 250 and then he's going to give away a CGC comic tonight. So it's hashtag 250 on Terry's video. You'll have to go check it out. And then later on in the show tonight, we're going to draw that cover, that comic, sorry. And Terry's very kindly going to give away this beautiful CGC.
Sorry, Peter, interrupting you. It's not just the CGC comic. There's 3 mini-series in there and a few other bits and pieces that have been put in the box.
A load of goodies. So it's going to be really, really fun and worthwhile checking out. So before we get into it, let's just see who we've got in the chat. We've got good old Wayne Deacon. Nice to see you, Wayne. Hope you are well. Wayne, I've known you for a good while now as well. See how tonight goes, if tonight goes well, because I kind of shelved this show, but I'd love to get you on at some point, Wayne, just for shits and giggles and have a bit of a chat with you and see how things go. So perhaps if we revive This Is My, we'll get you back on. We've got Connie. Always nice to see you, Connie. I hope you are well. Connie, there's an intro. Has there always been an intro? The intro came 3-4 months ago, maybe? Something like that, 3-4 months ago. There's an outro as well, Connie, all written by myself. So I don't sing it, obviously, but yeah. So check those out. We've got Tempest from Mars. Nice to see you, Tempest. I hope you are well. Okay, Terry. For those of you that haven't seen the show before, this is My. It's basically a bit of a getting to know you show, and what we do is we talk a little bit about the individual guests, their backstory, ask them some questions and things. And we'll kind of splice that back and forwards with them showing off some of their collectibles. So, Terry, let's start off with a nice easy question. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your story? And what I'm normally interested in with this, Terry, is firstly, what got you into comics in the first place? So, what's your backstory with comics? And then, what got you into doing this YouTube malarkey? So, start at the beginning, Terry. Let one know a little bit about you.
You said the show's only an hour long. It's going to take a lot longer to tell you that. But no, I mean, I learned to read at an early age. My mother was very, very good as far as that was concerned. She wanted me to do that. So, I mean, I was reading by the time I was 4. And so I loved reading comics, the British comics, the Beanos and the Dandies and the Toppers and all that sort of thing. And it wasn't until I was sort of 7, 8 years of age that I came across American comics. And those, they intrigued me, and I used to ask my mum to buy them, or I eventually got pocket money as I got older. And then eventually I was, I got a sort of little news agent job at an early age, and I had my own money, so I could buy my own comics. I love collecting things. I mean, I collected trading cards. Well, bubblegum cards, I called them then. So that's new name as far as I'm concerned for them. But there you go. But I trading cards. I collected records, albums. Well, basically anything that the sort of well, not even a geeky nature really, because you wouldn't really call records geeky. But I just love collecting stuff.
Yeah.
But I really got heavily into the comics, and I bought those religiously. I had miles too many, as my mother and father always used to say, and kept them tidy and all that sort of thing, and then you can keep them. And slowly but surely, I mean, my father actually built me a cupboard that I could put them in, and eventually I sort of put them in bags as well before the craze for bags, etc. But I just loved reading them. I mean, I collected most things. I mean, all the DC stuff was easier to get than Marvel. I did know about Marvel because I had a very good friend who was a Marvel collector. He was a little bit older than me, and he had two older brothers, a lot older brothers, and they used to buy him all the Marvel comics when they were up in London.
Terry, just to interrupt you there just for a second, mate. So, and I'm not going to ask you to divulge any personal information here, but you are a gentleman like myself, of perhaps a certain seniority, shall we say. What kind of a time span are we talking when you were kind of collecting when you were a younger kid? Was that the...
Well, I mean, as with my channel, they know that I'm my age. I mean, I'm 68. I was born in 57, and so therefore that's where I get my sort of like channel thing from. I really collect, as far as American comic books were concerned. I started collecting. Well, say collecting. I started reading them. I didn't really say collecting them because I was too young for that really when you're 7 years of age. But I did the ones I had, I did keep.
And I guess that's the bit I'm interested in, Terry. So when you were because I'm the same as you. I wouldn't say I was a collector when I was a kid. I was an avid reader, and I kept them in a drawer, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you started getting into comics when you were young, was it something that was popular with your mates, or was it the kind of thing that you kind of didn't talk about in the schoolyard, kind of thing? Or
you didn't talk about it. There was only, as I said, I had one friend. He was a Marvel. He's a year. Literally, his name still is. Name's Des. He's a year and a half older than me. But we met at school. And we met by accident, if you like, because I remember I was sitting down. I was actually reading. I wasn't reading American comic. I was reading the Beano, I think, or something like that in the schoolyard. And I had my feet out, and he tripped over me, and that's how we met. He was a very nice guy because I mean, some of them the trips over and might start to fight. But this wasn't. And he sort of, what you're reading, and we got into a conversation, and slowly but surely we found out and sort of revealed to each other that we were, secret comic book, readers, as American comic book readers. And then he explained to me about his Marvel collection. He was a collector before I was, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I mean, he did have. As he got older, he did have full runs of all the Marvel, popular ones, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Avengers, the whole shooting match, Amazing Spider-Man. He had a lot, as I said, because his older brothers, they bought them for him. He said at his early age, he didn't have to really spend too much money.
Yeah.
But as far as other people are concerned, no. I remember doing a show and tell at school when I was about 9 or 10, and I took some of my comics, and these now were the case of I did look after them as such, and I did take them to school as a show, and what do you do kind of thing.
Yeah. And
the teacher very, very kindly wrote my name on every one of them. Which didn't go down well with me. She said, well, it's all right, because you'll make sure you'll get them back. I said, I don't want them back.
Jerry, that was normal back then. Because, I remember when I was a kid getting it wasn't American comic books. It was things like the Thundercats and the He-Man comics from the newsagent. And if you were a subscriber, book, it would come with your name written on it,
Yeah, that's right. Well, when I got those sort of magazines, because I didn't only collect the American comics. I used to like football at that stage. I'm not a football fan really anymore, but at the time I used to collect things like Goal magazine and stuff like that. But even those, I asked the newsagent not to write them on, and they did actually put them in. They used to put them in a plastic bag, and they used to put the label on the bag. With the address on. And when they got used to me having those sort of things, then they didn't bother with the address anyway. They knew who they were going to, because I didn't like that at all.
No.
I hated it. And so, funnily enough, the Mad magazine used to get that. The British version of the Mad magazine used to get that through the post, and occasionally the wrong person had marked up the papers and the address was written. Thankfully, did it in pencil, so it was there. But in general, it was I went straight down to the shop and moaned about it. But no, I hated that. But no, this particular thing at school, it just really, really annoyed me, these things. But in all honesty, it didn't really matter, because by the time all the kids had read them, I say kids, I was saying same age. But by the time they had all sort of like and pulled them apart and things like that sort of thing, they were of no use to anybody anyway. Certainly not collecting. So, I remember taking quite a while to replace them.
So you started collecting at a very early age, then, Terry, and have you continued to consecutively collect up until now, or have you had breaks in your collecting habits?
Back when I was 27 in 1984, I had the opportunity of getting a place. Getting a flat. I had a girlfriend. I did live in a bedsit with a girlfriend, but I had the opportunity of getting a place, and so I decided to sell my collection, to get the money to pay for that, and also to get a car as well, a second-hand car. I didn't want to. Really, I didn't really want to sell them, but I lived away from home by well by then. I used to work. I still used to work with my father. I used to work in the butchers. I was a butcher and grocer, greengrocer, etc. I used to work for him, but I never lived there. I used to live away. I had 2 or 3 girlfriends. I lived in 2 or 3 different bed sets and things like that with different people or different girls. But anyway, one of them I just decided, let's get a flat together. So this one I decided to sell me the books, and also get myself a bit. I had a car, but it was a bit of a fall about sort of car, as it didn't work when it felt like it. So I thought I'd get myself something a little bit better. So I sold my collection. I didn't get a load of money for it. It was a very nice collection. I mean, nowadays, with the size of it and what there was in it, you probably could buy a house with it without any problems whatsoever.
I mean, the time span you were collecting, Terry, you would have had some of the big keys in there, I would have thought.
Oh yeah, I collected. I had gone back to the beginning. I had the full run of like the Justice League. I had the full run of Brave and the Bold. I say full like that. I may have had 1 or 2 missing at the Brave and the Bold, but as I say, in general, I had full runs of majority of things like that, because the only books in my age was, as far as buying them was concerned, I was old enough when all the Marvels come out, for instance. I only had the full run of Daredevil. I didn't. That was about the only one Marvel book I really collected in any kind of sense. That and I like Ghost Rider. I like Ben Grimm, the Thing, but I wasn't that keen on the FF as far as that was concerned. But as far as DC was concerned, anything that came out from sort of like 63, 64, I had the full run of up until when I sold them. Obviously up until 1984. But in general, a lot of those full runs, the full run of the Flash, I had, like Flash 105 up to, 1984.
Nice.
And all those sort of things. But I just say, like 105 would buy you a house nowadays. Because they were all in, decent condition. I had an uncle who lived in America. One of my father's relation, brother, as far as I understand. I'm not 100% sure about that. But my dad had told him that I collected these books and I needed some stuff, older stuff, because, as you know, or maybe not disturbing, they didn't start coming over here until 1959. So when you started wanting old stuff, the old actions and the old Superman and that kind of thing, you couldn't get them over here. They weren't comic shops as such, and even if they were, they wouldn't have had those anyway. Because the comic shops was around sort of the early 70s rather than the 60s. So anyway, so he was sending them to me, these books I didn't have, so I could go back, which is what I've done now with the Superman and Action collection, go back to 1957. I was just wanting to go back to my age. But again, those were all sold. I mean, the Superman Action doesn't go for gigantic money, and it certainly go for loads of money then. But I sold it. I sold the whole collection for about £5,500, £5,600.
That's not bad for back then, mate, Terry.
Back then, it wasn't bad. Now, I mean, you could get more than that for one of them, sort of thing. You know. So, but I sold it, and it aided me to be a deposit on a flat, and it was able to buy me a sort of half decent car. It was a second-hand car.
So when did you restart collecting them? When did you pick it back up again?
About after buying the flat, or paying the rent for the flat and everything else, the girl that I was living with at the time, I won't go into anything, but we had a falling out and ended up splitting up, and I sold the flat for next to nothing in comparison to what I paid for it, just to get out of the place. And so therefore that happened sort of within a couple of years of there, and so therefore I suppose a few months after that I started collecting again, sort of thing. I started buying different bits and pieces.
And then you've never kind of let up since, because I know when watching your videos, you're a big run collector as well. So and if you haven't seen Terry's videos, I'm hoping everybody that's watching has. But if you haven't seen Terry's videos, please do go check them out, because there's some great content. And speaking of YouTube, Terry, just before I jump to the chat, let me know bring it up to speed to like today. What got you into YouTube? What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to start showing some of me collectibles on TV. Well,
it's like TV in some sense. Well, in all honesty, you're not blowing smoke up you. These sort of things. You're one of the reasons, along with a few other YouTubers that I used to watch. Still do watch, the ones that are still on anyway. And it just looked like a good idea, and what we said about earlier, whereas you've got no friends that are there. I've got no family. I've barely got any family left anyway. I mean, I've got a brother that was a brother still, but he has no interest in anything like that at all, and so therefore I've got nobody to leave them to or anything like that. So I just thought, well, it'd be nice to show off to the show-offs, because I mean that's what we basically are, and that's what we're doing. We should, the thing, and showing off to like-minded people is, okay, because then don't look like an idiot, supposedly. You are, I don't know, it just sounded like a good idea. And when I started, I didn't put my face in front of the camera when I started anyway. I just showed a few things, but I was using this iPhone thing, and the pictures weren't that brilliant, and it wasn't coming out that great and everything else. And then I thought to myself, well, the reason I started this more than anything else was to show the Superman collection, because it's from 1957, so you've got a fair few years worth to show. And that was the purpose of me, really of doing it. So I thought, well, I'll bugger it. I'll do that.
Why not? I remember
one, with me in front of the camera.
Absolutely. I remember when you first started getting yourself sorted. And I think we did a dry run, didn't we, to try and see if your technology would work and things like that. Because I think what some people don't appreciate, Terry, is that streaming, getting your camera set up, sound, all that kind of stuff takes a little while to get your head around and to learn, because it's not an easy kind of jump too. But as Fuzzy says here, that feels like a little while ago, but how you've grown, it's been incredible. Fuzzy suggested to me a little while ago, 9 months ago it was, that we do this, a camera, YouTube channel, and 250 subs later, here we are. Beautiful. Good on you, pal. What a cracking job. And Fuzzy sums it up beautifully for, I think, probably everyone that's watching.
Well, it was July that I started, so I mean, it's not quite a year yet. So
Fabulous. Just going to quickly jump to the chat, Terry. Whilst I'm doing that, the next thing is we're going to get you to show off something. So I don't know if you've got it ready there, but I'll just start quickly jumping the chat. Chris, nice to see you, Chris. I hope you are well, bud. I've packaged your comics up tonight, Chris, so I'll be sending them off within the next day or two. Wayne, I remember my teacher let me read the Beano and Dandy, and the other kids was like, "Sir, why is he reading comics, not a book?" And the teacher, he's reading it, isn't he enjoying it? Yeah, absolutely, mate. I remember, I think I've told this story before, Wayne, but in our school we had a kind of a wet weather box. So if it was raining and you couldn't go out in the schoolyard, there was a massive box of colouring books, toys and stuff like that. And in that box was a load of American comic books, and I'm sure that's one of the key things that I remember got me into comics in the first place. Leon, nice to see you, Leon. Hope you're doing well. Who's that kid? Oh, that's Terry, the kid whose comic collection you've just defaced. He's a butcher's son. Got access to lots of sharp knives. Yeah. I bet people are wary. Chris, that's the thing, isn't it? If you don't have a community in real life, you have to forge or be part of a community here. I don't know anyone in the real world that has any interest in what I like. So I'm the same as you, Chris, and I think probably says Terry. I maybe had one friend who was into this kind of stuff. But interestingly, it's kind of shifted over the last, since the MCU came into popularity. People are now, I would have never gone to the cinema to see Spider-Man with me mates. I would have dragged me missus along, you know. But now some of my friends are kind of actively wanting to see the latest MCU film because it's just been absorbed and accepted into pop culture, I think. We've got Kenneth. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Hope you're well. And we've got Sean. Always nice to see you, Sean. Evening peeps. The main thing is, Terry, you're having fun. Absolutely, Wayne. Agree with that. Leon, I love Terry's show. His love of comics really comes through. And again, Leon, I think you're absolutely right. I love Terry's videos for that reason. I'm not gonna cause drama, but there are a number of YouTubers who you watch and you think, yeah, you're not necessarily in it for the passion of the hobby. Whereas I think with you, Terry, you absolutely are. You can see that you love your subject, you love your books. Okay, Terry, show us something. What have you got there to show?
Well,
I'm going to make.
As we were saying, the question you asked me at the beginning is, where I started. I remember, as I say, I was 7 or 8 years of age. My mother, she picked me up early from school. I was going down. It was either to get my glasses repaired because I was always having fights and things like that, and get me, National glasses broken. Yeah. Or she might have been buying me a pair of shoes. I can't for the life of me remember what that was for, but I do remember we went into this newsagent and she was paying the paper bill, and she goes, "So go and buy yourself a comic," because I was, wanting sweets or whatever. She goes, "Go and buy yourself a comic." So I was saw around for the comics, and these were on the stand, and this particular comic, I mean, this isn't the one, because, as I said, I've sold them. But I bought this really for sentimental reasons, I suppose, more than anything else. I mean, my mother passed a few years ago, so, this sort of brings back memories of her and that kind of thing. But I just like the cover of this one, and I picked this up. I've shown this on my channel before, and, the same story. But I just love, this book.
Yeah, I knew you were going to show that one. I remember you messaging and talking to us about this. It's a stunning cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely cover. As I say, it's a lovely story as well, actually. It's another one of those imaginary stories, aren't they all? But there's an imaginary story which, again, got rebooted because of the crisis on Infinite Earths, and so it really happened. Which you don't really want it to, really, do you? Because all three of them gone. So there you go. But no, that book was my, that was what I started. I remember, it as it was yesterday, and I mean it's 60 odd years ago. But I just remember my mother being in the shop and she was chatting away to the woman, and I just picked this up, and paid. Well, it would have had a 9D on it. Old 9.
It's funny the emotional connections we get to comics as well, because I know you've told me that story before, I think, in messages and things. And I know when my father passed away unexpectedly last year, I wanted something to remember him by. So I picked up, because my dad read comic books when he was younger, so I picked up the first appearance of Mon-El, because that was always his favourite character. The comic means nothing to me. I've never been a fan of Mon-El. I don't really read that line, but it's one of my most prized collections now because of that link. So in just the same way you linked that book, that's now always going to be linked to your mother, isn't it? And those memories of picking the book up.
That's right. Well, I mean, it was a little bit. It was to say on the video I did with about what books I would keep, if you had a fire or something like
Yeah.
that, and that is definitely one of the ones. Even though it isn't the original,
It
but
doesn't
still
matter.
got
It's
same-
the link.
It's still
Yeah.
got the same. It's still got the same thing.
It still
was gonna-
evokes the same passion and memory, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in a sense, it's in better condition because it hasn't got that 9D stamped over it. Because I remember quite vividly it being stamped over one of the girls' faces. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Lana. I think the 9D was stamped right over her face. So
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, that's another interesting thing, isn't it, about older books? They didn't particularly care about where they wrote the Chinagraph numbers or stamped the things and things like that, did they? It was interesting.
Exactly.
Okay, Terry, another question for you. Desert island type question. Learn a little bit more about you. If you are stuck on a desert island and you can only watch one movie for the rest of your time, eat one meal for the rest of your time, and drink one drink for the rest of your time, what are they going to be?
Well, for you talking about movies, and I'm always talking about this one, and we're telling James to watch it, but he never does he? I don't know whether he has now. As far as a film's concerned, it would be that.
Oh, Kelly's Hero. Hey, I haven't watched that in years. That used to be what I would class as a Christmas film, Terry. That was a one that was always on, and I would go to my grandparents and we would sit and watch it.
This film has got a story behind it. As far as personally for me, my mother and father loved going to the pictures, and they was always going to the cinema, and they used to go. Especially, they used to go to the openings of places as well, sort of thing, to London, and they used to go to Leicester Square.
Yeah,
and they went to Leicester Square to see this when it first opened. The what was it called? The premiere.
Premiere, yeah.
The premiere. They went to the premiere of it, and in the foyer, they were selling the record.
Oh, right.
Burning Bridges.
Yeah.
And my dad brought that home because, I mean, obviously, then you can't bring a film home in them days.
Yeah.
He brought the record home, and I played that record. They told me about the film, and I mean, I love Clint Eastwood even at that early age. When these were what I say earlier, I can't even remember how old he is now. Is it about 13, 14? It's about 1970, something like that. And I played the record incessantly. I wore the bloody thing out almost,
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait for it to come on the cinema. And when it, proper, because this was the premiere, so it was like about 2 or 3 weeks before we actually came out properly on the cinema.
Yeah.
And my dad took me to see it, and we went to see it, and then I went back and to watch it again, and I went back to watch it again. I've done it. I've never done that. I'd never done that at a time with a film, and it's very few films I ever have done. I mean, Back to the Future is about the only other time I've done that sort of thing. And I watched this over and over again, and I couldn't wait. I mean, eventually a video, VHS came out, and first one of VHS I ever bought was this film, and I kept having my friends round to watch it. You got to watch this film. You got to watch it. It's brilliant. This film is watching. And I must have watched this film 100 or more times, and it's the most I've ever watched, any film ever. Yeah. I watch it at least 2 or 3 times a year. I love the music and all the rest of it, and so that would definitely be the film, and what was it? The drink and
food and drink.
Food. I would.
Now, come on, Terry, son of a butcher. It's got to be some kind of nice steak or something.
You should know. It's funny. Well, as I just told you, I tell the audience, I just had a cat refitted and it cost me 135 quid. So therefore, eating steak isn't a great idea. Again, as far as meat is concerned, I mean, mainly I eat chicken these days anyway, chicken and fish. I'm not a big meat eater. One part of the teeth, another part of the fact is I can't find any flavour much in beef these days anyway. But that's me probably being a snob because I don't remember what it used to taste like. But actually, I don't know what's in my head, but I would think paella. I do love paella.
Random. That was, I wasn't expecting that from you. A good paella, not bad at all.
You can have basically anything really. So you've got your prawns, you can chicken, You've got sort of flavored rice. You've got your peppers.
Yeah.
A bit spicy one. I like spice. So it has to be a spicy one.
Oh, you're a space man, are you?
Oh yes, I like spice. I mean, I used to eat red hot curries. I mean, my body wouldn't take it anymore. Sort of thing. If I had the kind of heat that I did do, sort of thing, I'd probably collapse.
Well, what are you drinking to calm that down? What's your tipple of choice, Terry?
I would have to. I suppose alcohol-wise, I suppose I would have. I do think like Cobra Lager.
Okay, yeah, no, nice, very nice.
I suppose it'd be a Cobra Lager because I don't think I could get bored of that.
That sounds like a good night. Watching Kelly's Heroes, Cobra Lager, and a nice paella. Very nice. Show one of that item, Terry. What else have you got there to show, mate?
There's a couple of books. Oh, well, there's three actually. Like I said, the part of the reason that I decided to do this collection back to 1957 again was I was looking for some books to go back to a certain extent, and there was this book on Facebook. It was a Superman annual, and it was on Facebook, and the guy was advertising it, and I sent him a message and I said, "Can you send some more photographs? Can you put some more photographs up of it, please?" And he did that. And I was interested in it, and he said, "I've got a few more Superman if you're interested." And he showed me a few more. Anyway, we ended up going on to Facebook, became friends on Facebook,
right,
and then started having a conversation. And this conversation went on for ages and ages and ages, sort of thing, this particular night. And it turned out this guy, Rob Shepherd, his name is. I was hoping
stuff from him.
Yeah. I was hoping he would be on tonight, actually. So, he knows on, but he hasn't been well recently, sort of thing. So, good luck to him at the moment. But anyway, we was talking, and then we got to talking about age, and how long you've been collecting this and the other. And he turned around and said, "Oh, it's I was, when you were born." And I said, "Oh, no, I was born, in '57, sort of thing, in January." He said, "You're joking, sort of, you're joking." So was I. It turned out he's 4 days older than me.
Yeah.
But I was talking. Then we got talking about collecting back to. Oh yeah, you must do that. You must do that. You must get back to '57 sort of thing. Replicate what you used to do. Must do that. Must do that. I said, yeah, I know, but they're not cheap. And I said, just to start off with. And I thought, the Superman number 110 is bad enough, and all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes, "Oh, fair." Anyway, I bought that and a couple of other books from him, gave him my address, and he sent it off. But when he sent them off, what I didn't know was he put this in it.
Oh, nice.
And that is Superman 110 from January 57. And I couldn't believe it. He said, "Oh, well, I had two copies," he said, "because I've got a slightly better copy that's been slabbed." He said, "So I thought you might like this."
Very cool.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was nearly in tears. Yeah. But it then brought me to, oh well, I'm going to have to complete the collection now.
Got no choice, yeah. They don't make covers like that anymore, but do they? Do you know what I mean? Look at this, the design and the artwork on it is just phenomenal.
And then because of that one, I mean, then I had to do the action. So there's the action 224, which again is January 57.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, a few, I don't know, must have been about a year or so ago, he sent me this one.
Oh, nice. I don't think I've seen that one before.
January 57. This is a real fun, considering how this story is, this is a real fun story.
Yeah.
It's another one of those, well, it's not actually imaginary, I don't think, this time. This one actually isn't. It was the house where Superboy was born. And half of Krypton seems to have landed on Earth. Like it does, Well, it did back in them days, didn't it, in the 60s?
Very nice. I like it.
That's the sort of thing that, but it just sent it to me out of the blue, like that. Because he was talking about getting all of the birthday, all the January 57 books. But there are actually 144 of them.
Really? Wow.
Came out in January 57. Yeah. Comics and magazines. Actually came out in January 57. So I said, well, I've only got 3 and I'm sticking to that.
Yeah. That's a lot of books to pick up.
I mean, he has got a nice collection of them. I think he's got about 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Of them. But I'd say even he's going to have a struggle to get all of them.
I'm sure I've interacted with him on Facebook. He's a nice bloke.
Yeah, he's right. He's a very, very nice guy.
Next question for you then, Terry, and I suspect I already know the answer to this.
Yeah.
But Marvel or DC? Where's your heart at?
I'm afraid definitely DC. Not because I dislike Marvel. I do like Marvel characters. I mean, let's say I collect Daredevil. I still collect Daredevil to this day. As I said earlier, I mean, I like The Thing. I like Ghost Rider. I liked all of the more off-the-wall characters from Marvel, to be honest. I did read them. I mean, the reprints are fantastic and terrific. And Des, my friend who collected Marvel, and I was the only person he ever did. He lent me a lot of his books, and I read all the early stuff. So no, but it would have to be DC because that's where it all started.
Yeah. So I've watched a lot of your videos, Terry, obviously, and I've seen you show a lot of books, and I know your collecting habits are varied. You tend to go for full runs, but I think I know the answer, but I'm not 100% sure who your favourite character is, who your go-to character is. I think it might be someone who wears blue, but who is it? Let one know.
I would say, I mean, as far as sort of the main character of collecting is concerned, is obviously Superman.
Yeah.
But as far as, quite a few of them, Flash, the Barry Allen Flash, because that's my age group sort of thing, it comes very close. Green Arrow comes very close to that. I've just recently got the CLZ. I mean, due to Shane of the 1063 comic, and I was on it with his CLZ, and I've just recently I've been putting my books on there, and I was up in the loft today. Well, that's not today. Yesterday, I was up in the loft, and I was scanning all these ones, and I was forgetting half these stuff that I've got. I found all of these Batman and Superman books, all the Elseworld stuff and everything else. I'd totally forgotten all about them. I was always putting them all on there, and so I've got a lot of rereading to do, but also there's possibly make some sort of interesting videos, because
it's easy to lose track of what you actually got, isn't it? It's
well, I mean, with my cataloguing of them, I had just over 20,000. But I mean, at the moment, I'm a CLZ. I'm about 15,600 so far. I don't know where these other 4,400 are, to be perfectly honest. I mean, they're in the boxes upstairs. So, but every box I pick out, it seems that I haven't catalogued that particular section. Yeah. But as far as runs are concerned, yes. But I mean, I haven't stuck in the mud, if you like. I do like to buy. Well, you've seen it in the comments and stuff like that when I've done on your shows and stuff. I do like to go elsewhere. I mean, I love the Ghost Machine. A couple of years ago, I was collecting all AWA.
Terry, well, that'll lead nicely into another question. So, I'm not wanting to know what you're collecting at the moment. I want to know what you're actually reading. I know you can read a lot. So give a few books that you would recommend to people who are watching that you're particularly enjoying at the moment.
Well, all of the Ghost Machine, the stuff, all of it. The Geiger, Redcoat especially. I love the Redcoat. I think it's brilliant. Yes. And Redcoat reminds me so much of the character from Shallow. I keep saying Shallow Grave. It's not Shallow Grave. Sleepy Hollow.
Oh yeah. Thingy Crane. I used to watch that TV show. Yeah. Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod Crane. That's it.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much, and I love that show.
Yeah.
And so and that Redcoat, that character just reminds me of so much of him. That was it. Simon Pure, isn't it? Yeah. He's not very pure, but that's great. As I said, all of those. I mean, say Geiger, Halo. Hyde Street, all those sort of books. AWA a couple of years ago. I mean, I've got the full. I think I've got everything that they bought out over those couple of years, but they then suddenly stopped bringing out very much. This last year, especially, I think they brought out just about 2 miniseries. That was it. This year they're supposed to be getting better again. There are about 3 or 4 things coming out in the near future, so I'll be looking forward to those. As far as I didn't think I was going to like the absolute stuff.
Excuse me.
I was poo-pooing it really.
Yeah,
before.
me too. Me too.
I was being terrible, really. To myself, I'm not saying to anybody else, but to myself, I was saying, "Oh, it's going to be, it'll last."
I was the same, Terry. I saw the first images of Batman, and I thought, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah. But say the truth, but that has been really good. I mean, my favourite so far as the Superman side of it's been my favourite so far. But they're all good. But then saying that, Green Lantern, I've only read number 1 so far, and the Flash number 1 so far. And they were both very good. And the one I thought I wasn't going to mention, yes, the one I wasn't going to mention was Martian Manhunter, because I mean when I saw the covers of that, I thought, you're joking, aren't you? Sort of thing, do your eyes in. I mean, but that actually was very good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. I shouldn't do really, because the art was atrocious.
Yeah. It didn't do it for me, but I will read issue 2 just to give it another go.
The story, as I said, it was but those sort of books. I'm looking forward to the what's it? Beneath the Trees.
The sequel to that. Yeah.
That's supposed to be out in July, I believe. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really Patrick Hogarth, isn't it? I'm really hoping that he's gonna pull some of the magic back, because I did read his he did a one shot.
I did read it. I didn't think much of it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. Fuzzy, if you're in the chat, let me know. You remember? Was it Not Kill the Rich?
No, it's something like that.
Yeah,
that's basically what it was, though.
Yeah, it didn't blow us. It didn't blow us away. Sadly, I thought it was a bit.
I do hope that the other. I mean, this other one's supposed to take another 8 years. It's 8 years later, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's 8 years later. But I'd say that all that sort of the modern stuff. I mean, the DC Free for All. That's it.
Cheers, Fuzzy.
The DC the Image stuff. There's other books I like. They come out sporadically. I mean, I love Resident Alien.
Yeah.
From Dark Horse. There is supposed to be another series, because that was supposed to have ended by volume 4. They're on volume 8, and there's supposed to be a volume 9 coming out. I mean, it's only usually 4 or 5 issues, or so. I mean, they've brought out a 6-issue once. Most of them are 4 issues. But I love that story. Yeah. I mean, the TV series, it's nothing like the TV series. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the TV series at all, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I think I watched season 1 and then gave up. I like the lead actor in it, but it wasn't really
because the book is nothing like the TV series, because the alien that comes to Earth by accident, he's not there to destroy the planet like they are with the TV series. It's nothing like that at all. It's like, I mean, I shouldn't enjoy it because I'm not a great fan of soap operas, but that's what this is like. It's so free and easy to read. It's so nice. It's a very, very refreshing thing.
Terry, I'll just caution you there. We've got Von Hoot in the chat. Yeah. And with you saying that you're not a fan of soap operas, mind, that's likely to have triggered him.
Well,
yeah, he'll be getting upset. He'll be flurry of words coming, I would imagine, about that. Feathers are flying. Terry, sorry, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say I sent him something quite a long while ago now and everything else, so he knows I love him.
Show us something else, Terry. What else have you brought to show, mate?
Right. Well. Next thing, this is something that you've seen on my show before, and you know about it anyway, but one of my favourite covers of Detective Comics is this one, number 457. It's got a lovely story in it. The first appearance of Leslie Tompkins as well. Not that I'm a first appearance person, but I always wondered. Well, say that's not true. When I saw blank covers for the first time, I always wondered what it would be like if you had a Superman version of it. And I wondered that for years and years and years. And then, or say for however long it was that blank covers come out, I don't know how long it was before they came out. So, and this is a person that you knew that you're the person that gave me the name. And I gave him the idea of what I wanted, and he did it. And I got this done on a blank.
It's stunning. So that's by Ian Richardson, isn't it? Rico, he's just a phenomenal artist. Absolutely
and also,
phenomenal.
There's another Ian, did it lovely. Sort of made it to the original Dick Giordano, Dick Giordano that did the original. The wording is thanks to Rob Fatstack, because I put in the Instagram a message to people. Anybody think of what could be done the opposite or the same as that one?
Yeah.
So, and Rob came up with that.
Hold them both up together there, Terry, please. Yeah, he's done a cracking job with that mind, hasn't he? Yeah. Just out of interest, because I've often thought this myself, Terry, because I get a lot of sketch covers, because I'm into that at the moment. Would you ever consider, if you found the right person, getting that coloured? So if you found someone who could do it, who was decent, would you get some colour put on it?
I don't think I would, to be honest. The main reason being is because of the black background. There's so much black in it that I think if you coloured it, it'd look as though it's been, like the kids come along and put some crayon out. I think that because it is the black. It is black already. I mean, it's black in his hair, and surrounding, etc. sort of thing. So it would be. No, I like it. I love it. Well, I love it. I love it like it is.
I think it's stunning.
I have actually asked Ian. I don't know. I know he was retiring, but he said he was going to be doing the ones that he'd been asked for. I have asked him a couple of others, but I haven't heard from him at all. I don't know whether he's properly retired now.
So when I spoke to him at Thought Bubble, he was retiring, but he was he had some family issues. I think his mum was unwell and things like that. Yeah. So he was retiring from doing company work, basically. But he did say he would continue to do the odd commission for people. So I would just drop him another line, Terry. I know I'm going to hit him up to try and get some covers done from him. He's done me a few Skeletors and things like that. He's just amazing. Lovely.
There's something else I asked him about, and saying this live, but I was asked him about was maybe to do me being as my sort of like channel's got more views. I mean, I never ever expected. I never expected to get 100, let alone 250, and now nearly 300. I wasn't expecting that at all. So I was wondering about, like, you had your sort of like Thor motif done, sort of thing, with you, and I was just something, DEADMAN related for me, sort of thing. I was wondering whether he would do that.
So I'm sure Ian would, but what I would say is mine was provided by a viewer. I didn't ask for it; they just sent us it in and said, "Look, you can use it if you want," which was fantastic. But the One Good Scare logo, which I think is phenomenal, was done by another friend of the channel. So and he just commissioned work, so I can put you in touch with Kev. Kev, he does incredible artwork, and I'm sure he would do that for you, Terry. Very reasonably, I'm sure. Okay, Terry. Next question for you, and this is one that always interests us because I've known you for a little while now, and we correspond and we chat on Instagram now and then. But I don't really have a feel for what irritates you, what gets under your skin or boils your blood. So, what's the kind of things that are going to push your buttons, Terry?
As far as pushing my buttons are concerned, watching the YouTube channels, for instance. I like watching the people that we said it earlier about have got a love. You can see they have a love for the subject. They want to do that. It's the channels that it's not just with comics. I mean, it's with all sorts of things, films, TV series, and stuff like that, where they slag things off where it's not really necessary. Yeah. It's like it's just this recent film. We've just seen Thunderbolts. As I said on your when you put your one of your videos up, and I just wrote in it. So I'm not going to watch it yet because I'm going to go and watch the film first, and then I'll watch your video. And you kindly come back with this, and yeah, that's a good idea. So that was it. Yeah. Well, I went and watched the film because I didn't know anything about those characters. I mean, I'd heard a few names. I mean, I knew the name of the Sentinel. I knew the Superman, kind of the Superman version, or the Marvel Superman, really, sort of thing like that. I knew about that. I knew about the Winter Soldier. Mind you, to be perfectly honest, I didn't realise he was in it.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard that he was in it because I mean, I didn't even watch a. I think I saw one of the very first clips, and I'm not sure he was in that one. But anyway, I wasn't even sure he was in it. So anyway. I think that was about it. The only really two people I've actually heard of. So I went in totally blind, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a film. It was an action film. It was funny film, but not over funny. It was. I just enjoyed it. It really, really made a change. And on the websites at the moment, on these YouTube channels at the moment, there are so many people, there's barely anybody saying it was a good film. They're all slagging it off. But the funny thing is, when you look in the comments, they're all going, you got it wrong this time. There was nothing wrong with that film.
But a lot of people do that, Terry, for the clicks. If you have a controversial opinion, you know what I mean? You get the clicks. I don't have a problem with anybody having a view on something. And if you disagree with my view, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. What winds me up is when people try and tell us my opinion's wrong. So, I've done many a show with people, and, Terry, you will say, oh, I liked Thunderbolts. And I'll say, oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not, your opinion's not valid. That pushes my buttons,
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah.
No, I mean, things, that sort of thing. Another thing, one thing I do, as far as with comics are concerned, the thing I don't like, and that is because of how long I've been collecting them. When I was collecting these books, there was no such thing as, even though they existed, but there was no such thing as first appearances or second appearances or third appearances. As I said, they existed, yes, but nobody took a blind bit of notice of them. Just because it was the first appearance of that person, it didn't make that book suddenly £5 more than that book and things like that. Because when I was collecting, getting my issues back to 57 with the Superman and the action, it really, really got me going with some of these people putting, oh, this is the first appearance of Joe Bloggs, Oh yeah, but he dies in the bloody issue. It's his first and last appearance, and it's the same thing when I'm doing my scripts for my videos, and I'm looking through the database, and I'm looking through the book itself, and all the rest of it. And when I'm going through there, so much of it's got this first appearance of that, but a lot of it's like first and last, or first appearance. But they don't even highlight the name because the person's.
And then you'll get first appearance, then you get first cover appearance, then second cover appearance, and then.
And these things, this happens on here, or happened on when I was buying these things on eBay, and they got this, and I was actually sending them notes, and I'm saying to them, this doesn't, the fair market value, blah, blah, blah of this. I said, I know it's your book and you can say it for what the hell you like.
Yeah.
But please don't make things up. It's the first appearance of somebody that doesn't bloody exist, or it's the first appearance of somebody that dies in the damn issue, and they're in like two bits of it or something or other, 2 frames. They're in 2 frames of it, and they're alive in the first frame and dead in the second, It's not the first appearance because he's a nobody. It doesn't matter because like one book's 10 quid and they want 40 quid because it's the first appearance of Joe Bloggs. And
Terry, that's interesting. So I've asked the question, and you've become extremely angry. I've never seen angry Terry. I've never seen angry Terry. We've unleashed a beast. Couple of comments. People are loving that. I love that. People are loving that you've said eBay notes. Very pleased. Just jumping back to the chat before, because we're going to do your giveaway in a second, Terry. Jack has asked a really cool question. What's your favourite cover? One your own. So what's your favourite comic book cover, do you think you've got? Whilst you're thinking of that, Terry,
I mean, I've shown that. I mean, that is one of my favourites here.
Yeah, it's
but one of my favourites. I've got it here actually. This book cost me a small fortune. Not because it's got no first appearances. It's got no nothing or anything else. So the reason it cost me a small fortune is I got it from America about 4 or 5 years. No, 5 years ago. But the bloody idiot that sent it to me didn't put the right number on or something or other. So the postage for it was ludicrous. Because anybody would think, that they were sending me that game, like showroom thing you've got now. Yeah. Anybody would think they were sending that. Because this cost me over £100 in postage. Wow. I didn't know at the time I could claim it back. But this is the very first comic I've ever bought for strictly the cover, because I fell in love with this cover. I would say, as far as a real comic book is concerned, this is my favourite cover, along with its facsimile.
Companion piece.
Those are my favourites. But this one, I just fell in love with this one, and it's by Natalie Sanders, and it's one of the first covers she did. She's done hundreds, I think, since. But there's it. But this one. Oh yeah,
wow, very nice.
And I just loved it.
That's very nice.
I fell in love with the picture when I saw it, and the actual book I think was about $30 at the time, but it cost me over £100 in postage because the idiot didn't write the right thing on it. And I had a choice. I could tell them to send it back, sling the hook, or I could have it. And I thought, well, I really want it.
It's an absolute beaut.
Because obviously she was doing these as well.
Yeah, I remember that backyard. I like that one. I like that a lot.
Power Girl.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
But I just love that. It's one of the. It's actually, to be honest, it's the book. When I did my 5 books for the fire, I should have said number. Well, actually, I did do 6. I should have said number 7. Should have said that.
You cheated. Von Hoot's just confirming Kev is the man for doing your logo. Yeah. Kev's done some fantastic covers for Von Hoot, which are absolute stunners. So check those out. Right. We've got James Mack. Nice to see you, James. Hope you're well, bud. And the negative agenda people have for clicks really grinds my gears. Absolutely sure, and I absolutely agree with that. I think I've been quite vocal on my thoughts on that kind of stuff. Chris Bell. Chris's child. I'm even afraid you're wrong, Peter. Thanks. You're wrong, Peter. Oh, it doesn't push your buttons. You have no buttons. You have switches. Guys, I'm going to take it all on board. Thank you for that. The review bombs that happen with movies and TV shows online pays them off. Yeah, I just don't understand why. It's just very, very strange. Very strange. Leon, first appearance of Angry Terry. I'm going to clip that. That's a short. I got a sketch cover from you, Terry. Had it from Pete's auction. Still love it. I got a sketch cover from you, Terry. Had it from Pete's auction. Oh, was that the charity auction we did a little while ago, Jack? I think, Terry, you donated something, didn't you? But very cool. Very cool. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jack. Cheeky monkey. Okay, let's do your giveaway. So, Terry, 250 subscriptions so far. Well, you've got more than that now. But you did a little video where you talked about giving away a slab. So do you want to show the people what they could win? Have you got it at hand?
Well, it's all in the parcel.
Yeah,
it's all in that parcel there. The question mark. But what's in there is a the slab is what's his name? I forgot. His name's gone out of my head. Oh Christ! What's his name? Deathstroke.
It's Deathstroke.
The one. Yeah, it's one of the. It was the villain cover. As I say, that's it. I think it was a 9.6.
Yeah.
There's a Hawk Girl, not the recent Hawk Girl miniseries, 6-issue miniseries. There's the 4-issue spine-tingling Spider-Man in there.
That's a good series as well. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And also another series that you love is that's the 7-issue series of the boy by that gun you can't pronounce.
I can't pronounce most things, Terry.
single. I mean,
Something Epic.
something epic. That's
Something
it.
Epic.
The first 7 issues of that.
Yeah.
That's in there, and there are also some other bits and pieces. And funny enough, there was a thing I bought. I'm not going to say what it is because I think it's a prize for whoever wins.
Yeah.
Something I bought for myself. I kept saying I was going to buy it for myself, and eventually I bought it, and I thought, oh no, I'll put it in the box as well. And it's a nice little sort of a gift box type thing. But I thought it looked really quite nice.
That's fantastic.
That's in there, and there's a few other odds and sods sort of thing, in the box. So that's what's in there.
Okay, then, ladies and gents, let's
go back to the videos previously. You can see. I mean, I showed everybody what was there.
Let's give away these books. So just so it's quite clear to everybody, I put this into the random comment picker. I've put hashtag 250, which was the hashtag you had to put into Terry's video. We've collected the comments. There's 35 unique comments. So let's start. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who wins. And the winner is Muffin0582. That's quite a nice name. So Muffin0582. Drop Terry a line or stick something in the comments of this video, and Terry will sort the book.
You can get me on IG.
Yeah. Is Muffin a viewer you're familiar with, Terry?
I think that was one of the people that came in afterwards. So I don't recognise the name.
Okay, so quite often what happens, Terry, is they might not get in touch straight away. So if you don't get anybody claiming the book in a week or two's time, I would re-raffle it. So up to you. But yeah, so congratulations, Muffin0582. Nicely won, and Terry will get those to you as soon as you get in touch with him. What we're going to do, guys, because Terry is such a cracking guy, and I'm incredibly pleased and proud of him for getting to the sub level he is, I'll give away some books as well tonight on his behalf. So what I want you to do is stick, whilst we're doing the next few questions, stick hashtag Terry in the chat, and we'll go to me giveaway box, and we'll give away a few books for whoever wins. So that's hashtag Terry in the comments, please, and we'll give away some comics in a little bit. Whilst we're doing that, Terry, the viewers have sent in a few questions for you. Now, I have to warn you, right? Sometimes these are random, sometimes they're absolutely bonkers, okay? So you know, but normally they're quite good as well. So the first question we've got from a good friend of mine, patron of comic art, is what's the one comic you treasure above all others in your collection, and why? What a great question.
Well, it would have to be this one.
Nice, yeah.
It would have to be that one, because I mean, Rob's a really, really nice guy. I mean, to send you this, to send it, then not charge for it, and not even mention the fact it was in there. Because the funny thing was, when he sent the parcel, when he sent me the little, the number for it, sort of thing on there, I jokingly said, "Oh, have you chucked that 110 in there?" I actually jokingly said it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he came back with a ha ha ha. And lo and behold, when I opened it, it was in there. So yes, I do.
That's a great one. It's a great one. And I think for me, that's the thing about this community. Every now and then, you'll get an act of kindness, or you'll get something like that, and it just it restores your faith in humanity a little. I think, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we correspond. I mean, we send each other sort of like birthday presents and stuff. I sent him one of the recent Flash Superman cover, but I would like to have sent it to him on his birthday, but it didn't come out until March. I sent that through to him as well, sort of thing. But we sort of, but every now and again, sort of thing, something arrives in the post, sort of thing. Oh, I thought you might like this.
Yeah. Fantastic. It is fantastic. Next question comes from all usernames are taken. Beard routine, Terry. People are impressed with your beard. What's your routine, mate?
There isn't one really.
I did warn you now, to be fair.
Yeah, no, but to be perfectly there really isn't one. I mean, I comb it in the morning.
Let's do another question, Terry.
Yeah.
This is from good old Charlie. You have a plethora of amazing comics, but if you were stranded on a desert, which one would you take? It's similar to the last question, I guess, but if it's a given that you're taking that other one, what else would you take?
Well, I mean, as just a one-off comic, or a series, or I mean, I've got this that I was going to show later because I mean, one of my other loves sort of thing is Star Trek.
Yes.
Sorry, Star Wars people, but Star Trek is I'm not going anything against Star Wars. I mean, I saw the first 3 films when they came out. I'm that old, and I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
They were 3 good movies, and that was it, sort of thing like that. But I've always loved Star Trek. I have memories of Star Trek again, family-wise, from my father, because it was the very first TV series I've ever sat down and watched with my father, and he actually watched it.
Yeah.
Now, when I was sitting down there, sorry to keep on about age, but when I sat down to watch Star Trek, there was only other 2. There was only other 2 channels to choose from anyway. Usually at that time you had ITV and you had BBC One and you had BBC Two.
Yeah.
And there was probably more on those 3 channels then than there are on the million channels you can get now. But anyway, it was the very first, because I mean, usually you sit down. I was watching a program and he'd sit down and he'd turn it over to watch the news or something. But he never did it with Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant. So if just to stretch it just a little tiny bit, just a little tiny bit, I would take this with me. My favourite episode of Star Trek is The City on the Edge of Forever.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
The one with Joan Collins in.
Yeah.
But these 5 books are the comic version of the script that Harlan Ellison did. They're lovely covers.
Stunning artwork, isn't it?
Lovely covers. And so that's one.
Nice, yeah.
These are all the sub covers of them. But Harlan Ellison's story isn't the same as the actual. This is what he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But they altered it, because in this story it's not Dr. McCoy. It's just one of the red. It's just one of the red shirts.
Oh right. Okay.
It's one of the red shirts that actually goes through, not Dr. McCoy. And there are other changes as well. Well, other changes, because that was the original script, and then they got somebody else to change. They changed it when they filmed it.
Fantastic books. I love those covers.
I love that. I mean, it's one of the ones that that's another one of those I would watch over and over and over again. So I would like, if I can, to have this little bundle. I mean, pretend it's a trade paperback.
Yeah, it's a trade paperback. You can have it. We'll let you have it, Terry. We'll let you have it.
That's what I would take. As I say, it is. I mean, personally, I've actually read. You can get a paperback, and I've read that as well. I don't know where it is. I've got it somewhere, but there is actually a paperback.
Lovely.
It's made. It's written as if it's a script.
Yeah.
It's written.
I love the artwork on those covers. They're stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Well, the artwork inside is even better, because it's that guy Woodward. His name.
Yeah.
And because I thought that's who was doing the covers, but it's not.
Right. Okay.
It's another guy called Paulton or something. I think it is.
Very cool.
But the Woodward is the inside, and I mean it's all painted. It's all painted.
Painted artwork. Very nice.
But that is. I mean, as I say, we send it to trade. And that is what I would.
That's what you'd take.
So that's
good stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're nearly at the end now. We've only got another slide or 2, so please do stick hashtag Terry in the chat, and we'll draw those comics in a second. Terry, for people who want to know where they can find you, tell a little bit about your channel, what are the social media you're on, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's as it shows us at DEADMAN 1957 TEB. That's the channel there. I mean, what I do is what it says. I show comics. I do a little bit of trivia about them. If I can find something funny about it, I will. And if I can say something funny about them, I will. I just enjoy, just showing, showing the books off. I mean, I'm getting now to the stage where, moving through the years, where it's now going to get to the stage where a lot of people, if they collect these, they're going to have them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have necessarily had 1957, 58, 59, 60, 61, something like that.
Yeah.
Some people would have done, but generally wouldn't be. But now I'm getting into the 60s or late 60s. With the Batman stuff and that. I do try to change it about a bit. I've been digging out. I've got my. I'm hoping to do a video for Xena on Friday.
Oh, nice.
I try to do them on Tuesdays and Fridays. I occasionally have the odd one to throw out. I did one the other day. One of Alan, the comic collector Geek's channel. I did one for did one of his challenges. I'd like to do more, but it was trying to find the covers that that you need for it, sort of thing, and it's a lot of digging about. But I did say to them that I'd possibly do an act, because I did it all with Superman comics. But I might actually do one with all action, all action comics, for the water-based one, because I think I found a dozen or so water-based ones in action as well. So I might do one of those.
So obviously there's your channel on YouTube, so please everybody check out DEADMAN Comic Cover Show. Some great content there. But Terry, you're also quite active with the Grey Man on his channel with one of his live shows.
I do his the Geeky Weekly. Go on there. I mean, I must be on the. There's a few people watch it. I mean, that is something that do. I'd like to actually. He was here earlier. I don't know whether he's still there. Somebody else that needs to, should get some more love. I don't know why he's only got such a few subscribers, and that's Tempest. Yeah. Tempest Mars. His show's lovely. I love his show, sort of thing. Cool. His sound effects and his comedy, and they're little shorts, 6 minute, 8 minute, 10-minute things. But and he deserves more love, because he's been on doing it a damn sight longer than I have. He's got more video, and he hasn't got that great, that amount of. I don't know whether he wants a lot of the subscribers, but he certainly hasn't got a lot, that many of them. And it'd be nice for people to watch it, but. As far as I'm concerned, so the Geeky Weekly, I have been asked to be on Gary.
Gary B, the Casual Collector, is it?
Yeah, I guess it. Gary B, the Casual Collector. I'm hoping to be on there. I think that's the 31st of May. I think it's a Saturday, around about 5 or 6 o'clock. I believe that's on.
Fantastic.
I've been asked to be on that.
Lots of great stuff. So please do check out Terry's channel and all the various channels he's on. Amazing content, well worth checking. And please do remember, hashtag Terry in the chat if you want to be in with a chance of winning some comic books. On my little channel, we've got membership up and running now. So thank you very much to everybody that is supporting the channel with the memberships. Just to confirm, what I'm doing with the memberships is that goes into the giveaway box. So we're getting better quality prizes with the giveaways, hopefully. A whole host of videos out from me. Chris Bell's still pushing for us to change the name of the G-Spots. I might do later. A whole host of videos out from me. We've got my Alf video, Who's Who on Thunderbolts. This Friday, we've got, members will have seen this one already, but we've got my Superman versus Batman video covering all of their, or some of their classic clashes. This Sunday, we've got Geek Week over at 9:30, so please do come check that out as well. And then next Tuesday, with my good pal Efren, we'll be doing our rundown of comic books coming out in the next few months. So a bit of a list of things for you to check out. Okay, let's share the screen. If I can find the right buttons. Present. Stop. I've done this so many times, but I still sometimes manage to forget which buttons I'm bloody pressing. Okay, so hashtag Terry. We've got 13 people who've entered. Your last couple of seconds to enter that. Hashtag Terry. And then we'll do the spin. So all warned. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. And our winner tonight is Tempest from Mars. Marvellous.
Talk of the devil.
Just been talking about. So congratulations, Tempest from Mars. please do drop us a line on Instagram, Tempest, or Terry, if you can get in touch and let him know to drop us a line if he's no longer in the chat.
All he does is I don't think he's on anything, to be perfectly honest.
Is he not? Well, if you can get him to get his address, we'll get that sent.
Geeky Weekly's on tomorrow night. So
okay, if you can mention, we'll pick him 5 comics. So Terry, tell us when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, it's a nice one. And again.
Stop.
And again.
Stop.
Oh. You what, mate?
Mate, I've always wanted to do this. It's made my night.
And another one. And again, Terry.
And stop.
What is that? One more, Terry.
Stop.
Ow. Finger. Oh, hey, he's got some nice books. Okie dokie. So, just to mention as well, all of the guys who are in the who are members, we will be doing another giveaway for just members, and I'm going to up that. That's going to be more books, so that'll be coming out this week, I think, the video for that. Okay, so here we go. So let us just make myself big. Like I say, if Tempest, you get in touch with us, we'll make sure these come out to you.
He usually joins the Geeky Weeklies if there's not enough people on. Good. Or he's in the chat usually. So I'll speak to him tomorrow.
Smash
him. He doesn't look like he's there, does it?
So we've got a foil. We have got classic Alex Ross
very
foil.
Nice.
That's very sexy. I like that. We have got a signed book of Thor, the Mighty Avenger.
Ooh.
Can't remember who it's signed by. Signed by Roger Landridge, who's the writer for that, I think. Nice cover. We have got classic Dark Hawk #1, first appearance of the Dark Hawk. It's a nice book. We have got Spider-Man variant, and bit of a good one to have at this point in time. We've got Young Avengers #1. First appearance of a whole host of characters, including Patriot, Iron Lad, Hulkling, and all those kind of characters. So some good books there. So get in touch with us and we shall get those books to you as soon as possible. Okie dokie. Terry, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Do appreciate you spending time with me. Massive congratulations on all of your success with your channel. You're doing an amazing job. I can't encourage people enough to go check out your channel.
Thank you very much.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Let us know, drop us a line or comments or whatever. I kind of fell out of love with doing this show for various reasons. But let us know in the comments if this is the kind of show you enjoy and you want to see us doing more of. And we'll look at bringing it back with some more excellent guests like Terry has been. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
The curtain's closed, it's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from TripleG and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's